The truth is, I don't hire black people.
Hello, I'm Naya King-Khari, and welcome to what I guess is the Black History Month special. Okay, it's just the first video, but shut up. So yeah, I'm always pretty conflicted whenever Black History Month comes around. Like, I enjoy the history behind it, how it came to be a lot, but every year it sort of seems like a way for us to sort of just relegate black issues into 1 month. And whenever Black History Month comes around, there's this one episode of That's So Raven that always comes to mind. You know, the episode where Raven fights systemic oppression and then racism ended forever, and then racism never happened ever again.
It's honestly, you're such a liar and a disgrace.
Yeah, Okay, that may have been a little bit of an exaggeration, but I'd like to think it at least maybe raised some awareness at the time. I remember when I first saw the episode, and I was really sort of excited and impressed to see like a TV show that I watched like explore black issues in a way that I'd never seen before. And yeah, like I said, it always comes back to mind, but then it gets me wondering, was it really that good? Or is this just one of those times where there's something I remember nostalgically, and then I watch it again and it's like really fucking bad, and I only liked it because I had a baby brain? But let's talk about it and see. Okay, so the episode starts off by showing that Raven's dad is cooking soul food in celebration of Black History Month. Okay, now, I know this is a nitpick, but already I'm thinking to myself, so does this guy only cook like black food for Black History Month? Look, I know, I don't watch that, like it's not the worst thing in this episode, but already it's got me thinking like, I'm giving him a little side eye, let's just put it like that. Then there's this other subplot, I'm just gonna mention it now. So Corey, he just doesn't give a fuck about Black History Month. He finds it boring, he doesn't care. And then over the course of the episode, like he learns to like respect all of his black heroes, and it's fine. I just don't really care about it that much. I guess maybe you could probably say that with his like middle class upbringing, Corey hasn't learned to respect like the black heroes that came before him. He's moving very Kanye West in this episode is what I'm trying to say. Corey West officially. I'm putting it here. Hashtag Corey West. I don't know what you're going to do with the hashtag button. So the bulk of this episode is revolving around Raven's application to work at this clothing store. And okay, right off the bat, I have to give a shout out to my favorite character in this whole episode, Chloe. Chloe is the first Karen. Before Chloe, there were no Karens, and then she kind of created them. I had to look up the actress because I really just fucking love how well she pulls this off. Just the subtly racist white woman. Her name is, I forgot her name. I'm going to look at it now. Oh, okay. Devin Odessa. I have it right there. Her name's Devin Odessa. She's never done anything major since this episode. I mean, this episode isn't even a major thing, but can we give her an Emmy? Because everything she does in this episode is seriously top tier. I love it so much. Like, you could almost come off this episode hating the actress just because of how well she nails it. I don't know, maybe she hates black people as well. She doesn't. I don't know that. Don't cancel me, Devin Odessa fans, please. But yeah, anyway, Raven and her friend Chelsea, they apply for the same job. Raven's acing it, she's flexing on everybody. It's kind of obvious, okay, Raven's the best at this job, blah, 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 blah. Oh no, shock horror, plot twist, end of Act 1, she doesn't get the job. Why don't she get the job? Oh well, thank goodness, Raven has psychic powers. Which, you know, if you didn't know the show before like I started talking about it, that might seem random. So yeah, here's where we see the bulk of what this episode is trying to deal with. A lot of racial discrimination, I guess even specifically workplace/employment discrimination. And you know what, I think that's pretty interesting. You know, the show's from 2005. I'm not expecting it, especially like being on Disney Channel, I'm not trying to expect it to be the most in-depth thing, but I think it's an interesting topic to want to handle. So I'm just gonna say this. Yeah, I haven't watched this episode since 2005, so I'm gonna even like show some respect to it. They kind of did get me with this fake out. They make it look like Chelsea is about to take the job anyway, and I thought that does sound like a dumb thing that the dumb comic relief character would do, but she comes a little bit woke. Chelsea's moving a little bit woke, okay?
Well, I'm off to work. What? You're actually going back there? Oh, yeah, Ray, so I can quit.
People don't know this as well. Chelsea did found Antifa in 2005, so that's really good. Now let's be clear here. The fact that Chelsea only seems to have black friends that doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to be better when it comes to these issues, but I do find it interesting that's where they decided to take the character. But that fake out, Chelsea was a little bit performative. So you're an ally. I'll put you in like top tier ally zone, but it was a little bit performative. Didn't need to do that, but hey, who cares? I also really like Raven's friend Eddie here, where he gives this little speech about when he was a child and he was separated from his white friend due to his white friend's dad's racism.
When they're out there, Chels. Matter of fact, y'all remember my friend Freddie from the 2nd grade?
Whatever happened to him?
Well, one day while Freddie and I were at the park, his dad came charging over all of a sudden and snatches Freddie away. Started yelling at him, telling him he's not allowed to play with black kids.
What did you do?
What could I do, Ray? I mean, I was just nothing but a little kid. I mean, before that day, I never thought of Freddie as different or white. He was just my friend.
I always knew about racism, but I never knew how much it could hurt.
Yeah, Ray, that's intense.
Like, don't get me wrong, it's very corny, it's very on the nose, but it's an interesting exploration of the idea of race as a sort of, well, as a social construct that children don't necessarily feel intrinsically, but are taught over the course of their life. Again, this show never delves that deep into any of these topics, but they are there, kind of. Oh yeah, and then after this, Corey meets Harriet Tubman or something, and then he's not racist anymore. I already said I don't really care about this B-plot.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
So Raven goes on to inform her parents about the discrimination that she's faced. And I don't want to underplay it. This is actually another really nice moment where they inspire her to, take matters into her own hands and, little bit of revolutionary talk in there. So I really appreciate that. I really don't want to nitpick it too much. No. I do want to nitpick it a little bit. I want to nitpick it a lot.
If Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King had the same attitude, we'd still be sitting in the back of the bus.
So he does this thing where he wants to name drop a lot of civil rights activists and make lots of references to them, which is fine. It just feels really unnatural, which kind of led me to think that I don't think Raven's dad knew about any of these issues or any of these people before Black History Month. I think he's probably one of the most performative guys in this episode. He's just trying so hard to convince you that he is just the number one revolutionary dad. Keep in mind, this is the guy who's this is the guy who goes on to become a chef in the White House. Oh God. Okay, so like any standard 2000s Disney Channel kids sitcom, towards the end it gets very wacky. So with no real good explanation, Raven and her friends are able to meet with a black reporter that wants to expose this story. Raven also is able to get done some Mission Impossible tier prosthetics to go undercover to try and expose my best buddy, not really, Chloe, as a racist. And I think watching this, especially obviously as a child, you really enjoy that idea that there's going to be some kind of justice, and it does happen. Sorry, I spoiled the show. You can't watch it now. Anyway, you do enjoy the wacky hijinks and that the right things finally get done. Except watching this now as an adult, it kind of carries with it a lot of dark undertones. You see, racial discrimination and prejudice in workplace employment and hiring is a known fact. It's provable. We know that it exists. Yet the amount of hoops that Raven has to jump through to prove that it's real, she has to use her supernatural psychic powers. She has to get the prosthetics, all of that kind of stuff. She has to go through all these hoops just to prove that this one person in this one company was racist. And while that's nice for her, that can never happen. Again, we know that there's discrimination when it comes to hiring. The problem is that it's very rarely, if ever, down to just one person being overtly racist.
The truth is, I don't hire black people.
We can even see that things like names and other ethnic pieces of information can have a huge effect on whether or not someone's hired or not. So yeah, while what Raven does in this episode is really nice for Raven, it couldn't really be recreated, at least not on a grand scale. And I guess that leads me into what is one of my bigger issues with this episode, and my big issue with a lot of television programs that do try to tackle racism, is that they always come at this angle as though if you just get rid of that one racist person, if you just find that one person that doesn't like black people, then everything is going to be fine in the end. I really, really respect what That's So Raven was going for in this episode, but it just doesn't really map onto reality as well as it wants to. And honestly, even from Raven's point of view, was this really such a nice story? I mean, Raven still never got the job.
I thought you aced that interview, Ray.
Yeah, I thought so too. I did everything perfectly.
There's gotta be some reason why you didn't get that job.
And yeah, they got rid of that one bad apple in this one store, but we never really address how did she even get to the point of being a manager in the first place? There's so much that we never really have to engage with, and I feel like shows like this, unfortunately, really play into this idea again that you don't have to delve too deep into racism, that it's just something very easily solved just by finding the bad racist people and then stopping them from doing the racism, and then everyone is happy. Yay. A small moment in the whole Chloe exposed moment though that I do enjoy is how comfortable Chloe is sort of exposing her bigotry to what's her friend's name again? I'm kind of tired. Exposing it to Chelsea.
Chelsea, can I trust you?
Aye, boss.
The truth is, I don't hire black people.
She exposes it to Chelsea, and I kind of do love that touch. One thing that you notice when it comes to a lot of bigots is that they're always super comfortable exposing their really warped opinions to somebody else in their same in-group. And it's really toxic. And it even shows for Chloe that there's even a level where she's racist to white people. Because in Chloe's eyes, the fact that Chelsea is white, not racist, sorry. The fact that Chelsea is white means that she must also be racist. It's actually a very toxic view of white people that Chloe's own racism towards black people has led her to. And yeah, I really enjoy that again. Okay, sorry, all that stuff was really serious. Look at this area where I paused the video. Look at this funny screenshot. I don't know what it is yet. This is just it's a green screen, so I don't know what anything on here is yet, but okay, this is just an aside. It doesn't have anything to do with anything else in the episode, but doesn't Chloe give you that vibe that she only dates black guys? Like she dates black guys and then she says racist shit, but she's okay with it because she dates black guys and that's always her go-to excuse. Doesn't she just have that face? So yeah, overall, I can still only say I'm kind of mixed when it comes to a lot of things in this episode. But hey, you know, that's just my opinion. Oh, I gotta have a closing catchphrase. Hold on. If you're not with BAME, then bro, you're lame. If you don't support Black History Month, then you're a chump. Ha! You think this episode is woke? What a joke. That's So Raven? Ha! More like That's So Racism. I'm not proud of any of those, but bye. So I guess I'm also supposed to tell you to like, comment, and subscribe. So yeah, do those things if you feel like it. Do all three, do two of the three, do one of the three, but at least one, I guess. Or all of them. Or share it, that's the big one. Share the video. Okay, I'm done now. I'm really done now.